Good Saturday morning. This is your Loudoun County weather outlook. Of course, I'm going to highlight a little bit of what's going on in the south, what happened in the middle part of the country last night. There was severe thunderstorms with severe, long-lasting, very powerful tornadoes. I know some lives were probably lost, and I know damage. I mean, it wiped out houses and caused a lot of problems yesterday. Unfortunately, today, the risk in the south for Louisiana right now, even they've got tornado warnings going on. Mississippi, Alabama, up into Tennessee, Kentucky, all this region here is in for the chance for tornadoes and some strong to long living ones. And here in central Mississippi, up into Alabama, including Huntsville area, they are in a high risk for strong tornadoes. As a matter of fact, the reason for the high risk is not the wind threat, but it's actually the tornado threat today. So thoughts and prayers down there. I just hope that maybe things aren't going to be as bad as these models keep showing. But it is kind of a scary situation. Now, this convection in the energy is going to move east as a front come through us tomorrow. Won't nearly have as much of a potential, but there is still a chance of some strong winds, maybe an isolated tornado, and some hail, because some of the upper atmosphere is so cold enough that hail would be a concern. So definitely something we'll watch tomorrow. Not sure how convective it will be, or if we'll get any rotating thunderstorms, which are known as supercells that could potentially cause tornadoes. But right now, I can say this morning we're starting off still influence of the easterly winds, so we got moisture and some drizzle around and cloudy skies. Those will try to brighten up some today, but it may be pretty much a cloudy day today. And becoming breezy later, like probably into the night and overnight, as this low to the west here, this front that's strong, starts kicking east, and the winds turn strong southerly. Should scour out any of the cooler air that we've had. And then tomorrow looks like a very breezy day, and we're watching this line here of showers and storms as they come in. There is a chance that some of these will be strong to severe, like I said. So I'm going to hone in on that more than the long extended. I'll just quickly go through the extended here. It's obviously going to cool down after this front comes through. Then towards midweek, we will warm up, and then another front will come through late in the week. At one point, that will feel a little more energized. Right now, it doesn't, so it'll probably be more of a wind and much chillier conditions as we head into the Friday time period. That slowly moves out, so that by Saturday even, not slowly, but it quickly moves out. Saturday, we start to warm up, and then we get another low coming through, and then, we'll have to wait after that to see if anything comes true, but more of these quick moving storms. None of them look super wet. Today looks the wettest of them all, so that's something we'll have to watch there. So, I mean, spring-like conditions, 60s, looks like pretty common, although a quick cool down there on Friday and a quick cool down there on Monday. Alright, so let's look at the short-range model. Alright, this is called the HRRR. It is a short-range model, and it updates fairly frequently. Pretty good for convection, but once it gets beyond like 24 hours, which this is, maybe not as good, but it gives you an idea of what we're looking at for tomorrow. Here's the line of storms, maybe, isolated storms here and showers. Doesn't look too organized, but any one of these could be strong to severe. When you see a arcing in the way that the storm looks like this and this, we do have to wonder if these are turning or spinning storms. Those would be called supercells, so we have to watch whether or not they spin or not. Honestly, it doesn't look super wet. Then we got another line that will come through later. These do not look like they're bowing or arcing, so, just a typical type of thunderstorms. And because there's so much wind and energy in the atmosphere, they could bring some gusty winds, so we'll have to watch and see that. And just some showers, kind of residual. Not too bad. The one I want to look at is the NAM. The NAM is running right now for the latest version, but we'll look at the 6-day version. Okay, so we'll quickly go through today. You can see the time and date stamp up here. Today, we're going to be windier as we head later into the evening and overnight, and then this warmer kind of air moving in. And here we are tomorrow. Here's the line of storms. When storms move west to east, we don't tend to get as good of a makeup as far as like right here. With some of the stronger storms. We'll just have to see if they come together. But this looks like a pretty good line of thunderstorms moving through, and then they'll go on east of here. What I'm very interested in is there much of a spin in the atmosphere? And there's a cool way to look at that with the pivotal weather, outlooks here. Now again, these are guesstimates or estimates on what's going on. If you're looking for potential tornado type signatures, you're going to look for an arc, like a hook that's turned upside down, kind of like a hook like a candy cane, and the candy cane part is turned to the right. Because what's happening then is you're showing divergence in the winds. And you can see there's some divergence there. But you're looking for a really strong arc. So not much happening today, but we're looking for tomorrow to see if we see an arc to the outlook and see if there's anything there that we need to be looking for. Honestly, it doesn't look too concerning at all. But to give you an idea what this could look like or what we would be looking, this is what I mean here. You see this little hook like this? Here's one that's hooking like that. That's what you're looking for potential, and this one's got a really strong look to it. So that's your arc that you're looking for. Today is just insane if you want to see it down south. Let me look. So now we're in Mississippi and Alabama, and this is what I mean. You see the arc. All these are arcing very strongly, and they're actually arcing with a huge tail here off of them, which means it's even more, worrisome because the vorticity is really, really high, meaning the shear is really, really high. So not a good look if you're worried about tornadoes, and this definitely shows that sticking around. So that's why I'd be looking for these arcs, which we did see some. I do think we'll see some rotating storms tomorrow. Doesn't necessarily mean that there'll be tornadoes, but it does show the potential there for isolated tornadoes. And so here is the reflectivity at the higher levels for the more severe type look of storms. Oops, I highlighted the map. So again, we'll look for tomorrow to see if there's anything that's super alarming. Here comes the storms. They look pretty strong as they move through. So definitely looking like a line of thunderstorms. We'll move through tomorrow. What we don't want to see is isolated storms out in front of it, because those could potentially turn or twist for us. So here's the model output. You can see if the storms hit, whether or not you would get rain. So this is picking up on the thunderstorms that are showing up. I know it looks broken and scattered, but I mean, this to me looks like, if we do get a thunderstorm, you can have up to an inch of rain. If you don't get a thunderstorm, you can have less. So something to know. You can kind of see that even in the Weather Prediction Center's outlook. A little bit more enhanced, I suspect, due to the wind direction. Showing an inch here in western. These are the higher elevations. And a little bit of a gap, and then more high because of thunderstorms possibility after these. So of course, elevations helping squeeze out more moisture. So again, we remain in a slight risk for severe storms tomorrow. The biggest threat will be the wind and even some hail, about a 15% chance. You do see the chance for an isolated tornado, about a 2% chance, 5% to the south here, in central Virginia down into central parts of North Carolina and South Carolina. This will probably be refined some over the next day. So here's what the Storm Prediction Center is sharing for our region. It's talking about a jet streak, which is just, the jet, wind in the area. Saying that the stronger cells within the broken line associated could have an isolated severe threat. This is early in the day. The severe threat is to ramp up in the mid to late morning as surface temperatures warm ahead of a line. Isolated severe gusts could occur. So isolated and multi-cell line segments. So these are multiple, thunderstorms inside of a line, which we saw that on the forecast model. Cells that remain discrete. This is what I said before. Could cause a threat for hail and tornadoes. So what this means is if they're not in that line and they have a good, what they call inflow of wind and capability, that could actually twist some, and that could be what causes the hail and the tornadoes. But the greatest threat of this, as we saw on the outlook, was the central Virginia down to central North Carolina, central South Carolina for that. So it says, while the shear environment is impressive, which we were showing on those turns, the instability is not that strong. And that's because we've got a lot of clouds in here in the first part of the day. So if we get any clearing, the severe threat will go up. But that is something to know. So anyway, that's kind of what we got to look at for tomorrow. There's a long outlook, but I really went into some details on the short range because we have a severe risk for tomorrow. But today, look for some okay days once the brightening we get and the fog and the drizzle lift. All right. Stay tuned, stay weather aware. It's your Loudoun County Weather Outlook.